Yo, what's going on, boys? How you guys doing today? Welcome back to another Steam 2 video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about hunter builds for the Crucible. Trial starts up again this week with a new weapon being added. So, I go up, you have been asking me questions about like things that have been nerfed, things that have been changed. So, in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at some of the most popular hunter builds, or like the main two, and just seeing how they are now working out after some of the nerfs that they got just a couple of weeks ago. We'll basically take a look at the things that change, and afterwards we'll talk about if the build's still worth using or if you should be switching out to something else to have an easier time in Trials and Ironbanner. Since the goal is basically just find a build that you can just slap on and basically do well in either of those modes. So let's not waste any time, let's get into it, and first we gotta talk about the elephant in the room. Yes, it's the Redrix. So first up, we're gonna have the Redrix plus the Knucklehead Radar on Void Hunter. A very strong build this season, and I'm just gonna come out and straight up just tell you, it's still a very strong build this season. If you have been using this build basically since the beginning of the season, you basically don't really have to change anything, because even after the latest nerf to the Redrix that did reduce its range a little bit, it is still just a monster of a weapon. Currently right now, about like 10 days after the update, it is still the #1 weapon being used in competitive. Since Trials hasn't really been back since the update, we haven't really seen any numbers with the Redrix in there after they nerf, but in the competitive playlist, let me just tell you that the Redrix is still thriving and is still the most used weapon. It has been getting used less and less after every nerf, but even right now, I still think it's one of the best weapons in the game, especially if you play on console and like pulse rifles. The weapon that you should be using is the Redrix. And then when you pair it up with the Knucklehead Radar, it really takes it to another level, being able to track people behind walls, and also keeping your radar up at all time, basically never being able to be snuck up on. It is just ridiculous. The Knucklehead Radar plus Redrix combo is definitely one that you can still use and do very well with in either just normal Crucible, competitive, Trials, no matter the mode, this is still going to be very good. And just like always, the links to these builds are going to be in the description in case you guys want to use auto-equip them. But it's very simple. It's basically used what's become the standard this season for like Void Hunter, because even after some of the nerfs, again, Void Hunter is just super strong. This is actually the build that Bungie just cannot kill after it's taking so many nerfs from all directions, the subclass to the weapons. It's still alive and it's still thriving, being one of the best builds you can actually run the Hunter. Now, I think like the only thing that hasn't gotten nerfed is actually the Knucklehead, but I don't really see them nerfing that anytime soon. And now with the Inquisitor being out, another weapon that's gonna pair really nice with the Redrix, you might start to see it up even more. So this is still definitely a very good build, even if it doesn't have the range that it used to do. Now you basically just want to fight people at medium or close range, but definitely not a long range anymore, that you could get away with the old Redrix. And again, the dim link will be in the description. It'll be the very first one in case you guys want to use this one. And now let's move on to the second one that I want to take a look at. Now the second build that I want to take a look at, and the other one that we saw all over the place just a couple of weeks ago, is of course the Radiant Dance Machines plus the Last Word. This has been just a crazy combo since the start of the season, that again, just like the Redrix, has been getting nerfs over and over again, except that they're actually been a little bit harsher than the Redrix, especially when it comes to the Radiant Dance Machines. These things have gotten so many nerfs, and now they're definitely not as good as they used to be. Now, they still give you a lot of like dodge energy, and they also will improve the accuracy of the Last Word when hit firing, so that is still a pretty good effect. No matter what type of like extra accuracy bonus you get on the Last Word, is usually going to be pretty good, just because the way the Last Word works. And while it definitely won't have as much range or give you as easy and crazy like free kills like it used to, I still think it's a fairly strong build. I mean, the genie's out of the bottle at this point when it comes to the Last Word. I feel like it was like the best kept secret in Destiny for the longest, especially when it comes to like console. You just didn't really see that many Last Words, even though it's been crazy for the longest, being able to achieve a 0.5 TTK without damage buff, just straight out the bots. It's been crazy for the longest. And now that the secret is basically out, I have a very hard time believing that people are just gonna drop the Last Word and just completely forgetting about it. This thing just has so much power and can be so oppressive at close range when you pair it up with the boots. That is crazy, the amount of damage you can put out just how fast you can melt somebody. And when you pair it up with invisibility, coming out invisibility with the last word is some of the scariest things ever. By the time people notice that you're there, they usually don't really have enough time to get away or to even try to fight back, because the last word just puts down people so easily. So even if the boots are getting all those nerfs and the accuracy is definitely not as forgiving as it used to, not gonna lie, some of the accuracy was crazy on the last word before. Even on the quote-unquote nerf version we used to have before. Just anything that gives the last word an easier time hitting those 3 tabs, or more consistently hitting those 3 tabs, is still gonna make it amazing, and it's still gonna be a close range monster. Now I think that this is gonna be a little bit more situational. You know, if you're playing in a super long range map, then you probably don't want to play with the last word in this build like you could before, because of just how crazy this combo was. But in any map that you could find yourself in a close range fight, then the last word is definitely going to be out there, and it's definitely going to be destroying people. And if you pair it up with invisibility like everyone's been doing, then you can close the gap a lot easier and just basically surprise people. So if you're picking up this build after the nerf, you might notice that maybe you have to be a little bit closer with the last word, or maybe you have to tap fire a little bit more than you used to, so you're like completely 100% accurate. You know, you won't be able to just go full auto like you could before, but I think it's still a very strong weapon, and it's definitely one that you're still seeing a lot in the Crucible from the games that I've been playing after the nerf. A lot of invisible hunters are still just coming out and destroying you with the last word, and that's me as well. But yeah, definitely still a very strong build, but it's definitely a lot more situational now, and it's not as free as it used to be, where you can just hold down the trigger and get kills. Not that you can't actually make that happen though, because if someone's close enough, then full auto with the last word is basically going to be always a good strat. But once people get a little bit farther away, it definitely won't be as accurate as it was before. And just like with the other build, this will be in the description and in the comments below as build 2, in case you guys want to check it out and take it into the Crucible. I think this one definitely got a bit of a bigger nerf than the Redrix one, but they're still both just such strong builds, and builds that you're going to continue to be seeing into Edge of Fate. Since I don't really think we're going to be getting any more sandbox updates, this is basically what's going to take us into the Edge of Fate. But yeah, both of these builds are still very strong, even if they're not as strong as they used to be. So if you want to take either of these into the Ironbanner or Trials, these are going to treat you very well. And with the map being Dead Cliffs this week, I feel like the Redrix build is really going to shine. And we may actually see the Redrix usage percentage pretty much stay the same, just because of the map and just how effective it's going to be in that map. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Hopefully you guys liked it. If you guys want to leave some builds down below that you guys been really enjoying in PvP, let me know. There's definitely a lot of other really good builds out there, especially anything involving the 120s or the 140s. The hand cannons are really strong right now, but they definitely take a little bit more to get used to them, and they're not as easy as these builds, so I decided to showcase these ones. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe to the channel in case you guys haven't already, and also follow me on Twitch. We'll be streaming a lot over there, so I'll definitely love to see you over there. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.